Famous people who passed away in 1762. Before we proceed, please subscribe to our channel to support us. Luis Vicente de Velasco Isla. He was born in February 1711 and he died in July 1762. His age was 51 at the time of his death, and he was killed in action. He was a Spanish officer and naval commander in the Royal Spanish Navy. He is known for his valiant defense during the siege of Havana in 1762, during which he was killed in action. Manuel de Montiano. He was born in January 1685 and he died in January 1762. His age was 77 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. He was a Spanish general and colonial administrator who served as a royal governor of Florida during Florida's first Spanish period, and as the royal governor of Panama. He defended Florida from the attack by British forces in 1740 and launched his own unsuccessful invasion of Georgia during the War of Jenkins' Year. Empress Elizabeth of Russia. She was born in December 1709 and she died in January 1762. Her age was 52 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was stroke. She was Empress of Russia from 1741 until her death in 1762. She remains one of the most popular Russian monarchs because of her decision not to execute a single person during her reign, her numerous construction projects, and her strong opposition to Prussian policies. Louis-François Roubiliac. He was born in August 1702 and he died in January 1762. His age was 59 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. He was a French sculptor who worked in England, one of the four most prominent sculptors in London, working in the Rococo style. He was described by Margaret Winnie as probably the most accomplished sculptor ever to work in England. Johann Tobias Krebs. He was born in July 1690 and he died in February 1762. His age was 71 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. He was a German organist and composer, today best remembered as the father of Johann Ludwig Krebs, one of the Bach's most accomplished pupils. Known for his mastery of Baroque music and influence on the Krebs family of musicians, Krebs' surviving works are scarce. A few chorale preludes preserved in manuscripts show a marked fondness for counterpoint. Tobias Mayer. He was born in February 1723 and he died in February 1762. His age was 39 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. He was a German astronomer famous for his studies of the moon, advanced lunar cartography, and navigational accuracy of maritime exploration. Here he introduced many improvements in map making and gained a scientific reputation, which led to his election to the chair of economy and mathematics at the University of Göttingen. In 1754, he became superintendent of the observatory. Paul II Anton, Prince Esterhazy. He was born in April 1711 and he died in March 1762. His age was 50 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. He was a Hungarian prince, soldier, and patron of music from the Esterhazy family. He formally assumed the duties of office in 1734 as Prince Paul Anton, continued the historical policy of his family, namely that of supporting the Habsburg monarchy. In particular, he supported the Habsburg Empress Maria Theresa of Austria in the War of the Austrian Succession. Laurent Belissen. He was born in August 1693, and he died in February 1762. His age was 68 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. He was a French Baroque music composer. He was born in Aix-en-Provence and may have been among the last students of Guillaume Potiron, then maître de musique at the choir school of Aix Cathedral, prominent in the transition between Baroque and classical music. Much of his music is either lost or remains uncatalogued. Nicolas-Louis de Lacaille. He was born in March 1713 and he died in March 1762. His age was 49 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. He was a French astronomer and geodesist who named 14 out of 88 constellations from 1750 to 1754. He studied the sky at the Cape of Good Hope in the present-day South Africa. He observed over 10,000 stars using a refracting telescope, contributing significantly to stellar cartography and astronomical measurements. Germain Louis Chauvelin. He was born in March 1685 and he died in April 1762. His age was 77 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. He was a French politician, serving as Garde des Sceaux and Secretary of the State for Foreign Affairs under the King Louis XV. Key figure in Louis XV's reign, navigating diplomacy and policy. He came from a family of lawyers to the Parliament of Paris, which had moved to Paris around 1530 and set up home in the place Maubert-Quartier. Michał Radziwiłł. He was born in June 1702 and he died in May 1762. His age was 59 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. He was a Lithuanian noble and a member of the aristocratic family. He was frequently referred to by his sobriquet, known from his idiolect phrase, Rybanko, to distinguish him from the other, instrumental in military and political leadership during the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. Alexander Joseph Sułkowski. He was born in March 1695 and he died in May 1762. His age was 67 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. He was a Polish general and the progenitor of the Sułkowski noble line. He was politically active in Poland, the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, and an electorate of Saxony, influenced Polish politics and administration under Augustus III. According to some sources, Alexander Joseph was illegitimate son born to Elżbieta Saleska and King Augustus II the Strong, making him Augustus III's half-brother. Johannes Zick. He was born in January 1702 and he died in March 1762. His age was 60 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. He was a German painter of frescoes in southern Germany and active during the Baroque period. He was the father of painter Januarius and considered to be an important master of the late Baroque, renowned for his richly detailed religious and architectural frescoes. Francesco Loredan. He was born in February 1685 and he died in May 1762. His age was 77 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. He was a Venetian statesman and magnate who served as 116th Doge of Venice from 18th March 1752 until his death in 1762. He was a member of the noble house of Loredan, head of its Stefano branch and the only Doge, as well as the last male to be awarded the Golden Rose by the papacy. Alexander Gottlieb Baumgarten. He was born in July 1740 and he died in May 1762. His age was 47 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. He was a German philosopher, a foundational figure in modern aesthetics, emphasizing beauty in philosophical thought. He developed aesthetics to mean the study of good and bad taste, thus good and bad art, linking good taste with beauty by trying to develop an idea of good and bad taste. He also, in turn, generated philosophical debate around this new meaning of aesthetics. Dorothea Erxleben. She was born in November 1715 and she died in June 1762. Her age was 46 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was breast cancer. She was a German medical doctor who became the first female doctor of medicine in Germany, educated by her progressive physician father and rector of her school. She desired to attend medical school and study medicine like her brother. She eventually petitioned Frederick the Great of Prussia to allow her entry into the university. She pioneered women's entry to medicine in 18th century Germany. Thanks for watching the video. Please don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to our channel. Have a nice day.